Gay people of Reddit, what was the moment it clicked? Yeah, I'm gay. What is the best film to go into completely blind? Who is the worst singer that got way too much fame? Nobody understands the question. This isn't what singer do you not care for. This is who's the worst singer who's gotten fame regardless. I don't care for Mariah Carey, but you can't deny that she's a talented vocalist. Island Boys. I just don't understand how these dudes are famous. Like, I've seen one thing about them. Yoko Ono. The only reason she's famous is because she dated John Lennon, right? Like, I've seen her sing, air quote, but she was just screaming into a microphone. DJ Khaled. Lost all respect on Hot Ones. Who was worse? His or Kevin? LOL. Ashley Simpson. Glorious end to her career though. J-Lo. Okay, I mean she's talented enough, but I don't like her music personally. The Dance Monkey Lady. This is the one. I had a supervisor who had this song set as her text notification sound, ringtone, everything. I had to listen to the chorus of that stupid song like 200 times a day and I am traumatized. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. Like that sounds like a personal hell. Travis Scott. I'm not a huge fan of his music myself, but oh god, after Astroworld, dude cannot recover, right? Katy Perry. I will never unhear her live singing voice. She sounds very auto-tuned in most of her songs. I know I'm gonna take a hit on this. Bob Dylan. His voice is so awful. Gene Simmons was a terrible singer and writer. The whole band was trash, but they were one of the biggest bands in the world for a time and made bank. Without a doubt, it's Tekashi 6ix9ine. J-Lo, the vocal thief. Is that something that happened? I'm not super in the know on J-Lo's business. Madonna got famous for her sex appeal, not her voice. She has the thinnest voice I've ever heard out of a pop singer. You can't feel pain. You're immortal. What do? Find Kratos and annoy him. You don't have to be immortal to do that, but that works. Travel by means of trebuchet. This is the best answer. I can't think of anything better, actually. Stab myself. Just want to know, you know? Well, if you can't feel pain, I guess you'd still feel something. Wax my legs. This. I'd try a Brazilian. Maybe while I'm at it. I'd probably just live my day like a regular person, not worrying about getting hurt. My pool has this hole that sucks in water. You know what? Never mind. Skydive, but not pull the strap and scare the shit out of the people with me. Immortal doesn't mean invincible. What if you hit the ground and just turn into a bloody pile of goop and broken bones, but somehow remain alive? That's not much of a fun existence, so yeah, that's a really good point. See how fast I can climb down a mountain, walk the ocean, deep sea stuff and space stuff. For science. Ask my crush out again. I feel like the rules only apply to physical damage. That is going to be emotional damage. What is okay to be addicted to? You know what they say about too much of a good thing, right? It's crazy. I can't think of one thing that you can have too much of. Everything can be overdone. Air? Too much air pressure will definitely kill you. There are no good addictions, just good habits. Imagine being addicted to exercise. If you couldn't, for whatever reason, exercise, you'd go into withdrawal in a day or two and be miserable. If you were addicted to other people's happiness, you would prioritize that so far above your own that you would once again be miserable. Habits, on the other hand, are powerfully beneficial when they are positive. I'm addicted to breathing. If I stop for even half a minute, my body is affected. Music. I know plenty of people who complain constantly about their vinyl addiction being a drain on their income. So, could be inferred as a bad for some. Also, if you're addicted to Taylor Swift, your addiction could cost thousands and thousands of dollars for a one-time experience. Life. Eventually you build up a tolerance. High on life till the day we die. I wish I could live like these people. Breathing. I mean, that's just the easy answer, right? Bass. Not my entire cup of tea, but go for it. Moderation. Being addicted to moderation, I don't know how that works. Water. Too much water lowered my sodium to dangerous levels. Apparently you can also drown from drinking too much water or something along those lines. I'm not a scientist, so. What's a movie you watch several times, but you still enjoy it? Still gotta be Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. Clueless. I've still been meaning to get around to it. The Mummy from 1999. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, go watch Brendan Fraser peak. The Shawshank Redemption. And it truly was a Shawshank Redemption. Maybe the real Shawshank was the redemption we made along the way. Gladiator. I know it's supposed to be really good, I just don't have the interest. Mine is Ratatouille. I love this movie. It's very interesting, but also very calming. The Emperor's New Groove. I need to rewatch it again. I watched it recently-ish, but it's kind of left my mind already. All the Lord of the Rings films. Always my go-to when there's nothing on. Django Unchained. That's another I need to rewatch, but I just need to be in a right mood for a Tarantino movie just because that blood is so much sometimes. Happy Gilmore. Shrek. But we can all agree Shrek 2 is better, right? What's the story behind your username? Unfortunately, my story isn't that impressive. It's just Brandy, which is a nickname I wanted to go by, and Butt because I'm a stinky little loser and I thought it was funny. I don't know. Written by user, don't know what to name. Yeah, that tracks. Mr. Geep said, my son couldn't say Jeep when he was little, so he called my Jeep a Geep. So I've gone with it for 20 plus years. Oh, that's actually pretty cute. My cat's nickname, and their name is Butt Farm. Yeah, that tracks for a cat. Still Drowsy said, I'm still tired. Impossible Memory 65 said, I can't remember. I have amnesia, trust me, said likewise. r/username checks out. That's most of these, isn't it? Bob Builds Better said, my kid was watching Bob the Builder. OF20OF said, I mixed up the password and username field. Oh god, well hopefully you're not using that anymore. Climb and Run and Stuff said, I climb and run and stuff. Weird. From your name I would have imagined you were swimming and standing and things. Would Be Flat said, without music, the world would be flat. I can't really explain it, but I'm feeling like you're a music major / flat earther. What is the most iconic line in cinematic history? I'll be back. Hasta la vista, baby. I mean, if you don't remember those lines from Terminator, what do you remember? Say hello to my little friend. Still need to watch Scarface. I'm just not a big fan of like super serious stuff all the time. That'll do, pig. That'll do indeed. Run, Forrest, run! And then I was running. I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. That was a horrible Italian accent, but yeah, it's a Godfather. It's a Godfather. May the force be with you. I thought it was May the 4th be with you, like the date. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Here's looking at you, kid. I don't know if that's a typo or if that is the quote. Hey, I'm walking here. And every time a New Yorker hears that, they die a little inside. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Now that I'm older, I'm not as scared of Jaws, but when I was a kid and they said this line, it shivered me timbers, I tell you what. What are the worst candies in the world? Sorry if you like them, black licorice it's awful. It tastes terrible. Any cheap chocolate that tastes like wax. My dad was a quiet man, but when we were kids, every now and then he announced Tic Tac time, and we'd all get an orange Tic Tac. I'm not sure if that's considered a candy, but man, I love Tic Tac time. Wait, you love Tic Tac time, but you're saying this in what is the worst candy? I don't know if you're in the right question. Sugar-free Haribo gummy bears. Just Google them or read Amazon reviews. I haven't had them, but I know sugar-free gummy bears do just make your insides want to be your outsides. Those mints they put in urinals in the men's room. Fucking gross. See, you're probably eating them wrong. You're supposed to pee on them first, then take them out. It activates the flavor. Is anyone else scrolling through these going, hey, I like that. I like that one too. WTF. So far, not really. If I see Almond Joys in this comment section, I'm going to lose my shit. Oh, speaking of Almond Joys, put them on the list because I don't like them. It's probably just that I don't like coconut and almonds. Candy cigarettes were pretty nasty in hindsight. The version of candy cigarettes I had were gum sticks, so I'm not sure if it's the same. Candy buttons. TF is a candy button. Well, it's a little button made out of candy. But yeah, they kind of suck. That orange and black wrapped peanut butter taffy that cheap people buy on Halloween. I don't know where you live, but I have never heard of those in my life. Your job is to pick the most awful actor to play James Bond. Who do you pick? Mike Tyson. He has to do the British accent and everything. None of his real-world personality can come through. He has to be 100% serious. British accent, second, not third. It feels wrong to make these jokes, but he could kill you if he wanted to. That orca from Free Willy. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but the orca did pass away in 2003, so it's gonna be a little difficult. Gary Busey. I mean, it'd be interesting, but yeah, not the best pick. Zach Galifianakis. I'd for sure watch it. If he wasn't cracking jokes the whole time, I think I'd watch this. Michael Cera. I don't know. I kind of want to see this happen now. Yeah, as bad as these picks are, it'd still be interesting. James Corden. I knew I'd see this in here somewhere. Please don't speak this into the universe. Please don't. Andy Dick. That would be a horrible idea. Tommy Wiseau. You're tearing my balls apart, Matt Mikkelsen. I did not shoot her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did did not. Oh, hi, Mr. Blofeld. Chevy Chase. You know what? That is a horrible pick. Thanks for putting it out here. Steven Seagal, or however you spell his name, LOL. Why put him in a Bond movie when you can watch all of his movies where he's basically Bond anyways? What are some of the creepiest rabbit holes you have come across? There was one in my front yard a while ago. That was pretty creepy. There are accounts on Facebook with profile pictures of people in casts, like broken arm or broken leg, with 100% of their friends list also being people with cast profile pics. The rabbit hole seems infinite and purposeless, other than maybe a cast fetish of some kind. You know, people are into weird stuff. Actual rabbit hole. Could have crawled in myself. If I fell in and got stuck, no one would have found me. Saw a Reddit chain of comments making jokes about Unit 731 and began reading about it, including a lot of their results. And effing hell, is it all terrible. Craigslist housing ads. Honestly, they are mostly scams, sadly. Yeah, always be wary of everything on Craigslist. At like 2 in the morning, I just remember doing extensive research on a place called McCamey Manor, which is a torture experience posed as a haunted house. It's honestly crazy that dude isn't in jail just because it's technically legal under the contract they made and people sign without fully reading. The staircases in the woods. I'm sorry, the what now? Marilyn Monroe, and what happened to her after she passed away. What is a legitimate criticism you have about Gen Z, post-2000 generation? I think a lot of that generation is good at using technology, but not at understanding how it works. I don't know, because I saw a TikTok showing you how to hack your friends' Roblox accounts. Like, I don't get it, but these kids are learning too quick. Their constant use and reliance on technology has severely hindered their people skills. You could say that about anybody, really. Stop pranking and harassing service workers and fast food workers for TikTok views. Nothing screams, I'm a POS, quite as loud as that. Remember, service workers, fast food workers, they are people. They don't want to be there, they're forced to. Don't make their time any worse than it needs to be. Considering how popular TikTok is, I worry that they are too preoccupied with how they are being perceived by other people and trying to get famous instead of just trying to do stuff that makes them happy with people they like. Their worth isn't measured by their online presence. That they're offended on behalf of others, who may not necessarily be offended themselves. The Redditor who said Gen Z were behaving a lot like boomers stuck with me. I don't know exactly about boomer levels, but Gen Z's got some quirks, and not the My Hero kind. As a Gen Z, everyone on their phones too much, and 90% of the time it's TikTok. In fairness, when I was growing up, we were all stuck on Vine, so it's kind of the same. I've noticed a disturbing trend where younger people think that having to or being expected to do something they don't want to do is oppression. Toxic. Yeah, we need to stop overusing that word. It has a very important use, and it needs to not be diluted. Gen Z is too broad for widespread criticisms or praises to be relevant. It's been 23 years since 2000. My sister and I are both considered Gen Z, but I grew up playing outside and didn't have an iPhone until high school. My sister spends half of her day on an iPad with Disney+. When I was her age, we still owned VHS tapes. We didn't grow up in the same world at all. I mean, this happens with most generations by the end of its span. The difference now is that technology is changing so fast that differences within our generation is far more prevalent. I also wish they'd leave us older millennials alone. I wish everyone would, actually. We're just over here trying to get by, so stop picking on our outfits and breakfast choices. Wah, wah, wah. Everybody gets criticism. You can't be excluded. What is a scary, unsettling fact about you? That whenever you're standing near me, there is a skeleton present. I was the one who pushed over the Faygo vending machine at the IGA in 2006. A random guy in a bar bit part of my ear off. That sounds like a normal Saturday. I can ignore being tickled. So do you still feel it, but you're just not acting on it? Or what's the situation here? I honestly barely know myself. Someone asks me about what I do, what I like, etc., and I legitimately have no idea. I killed someone in self-defense, went through the entire court process with his family, sobbing hysterically, and never felt a single emotion about it. And I'm a pretty emotional guy. Something about this just makes me think a cop wrote it. I don't know why, and I'm sorry to you if you're not a policeman. I talk with myself, not the usual, you can do it type of stuff. Literally act like I am two people that are having a conversation. I called him G. He is okay. For the longest time, I thought this was normal because I do the exact same thing, but maybe it's something else. I've ripped a man's ear off with my teeth. Do you and Ghost Rider 119 need to have a talk? Oh god, yeah, I guess we found the culprit. From ages 6 to 14, I spent all of my time in a pitch black, cold and locked basement, only leaving for school and never letting anyone outside the family know. This sounds like you did it of your your own volition. Why? One of my testicles tried to murder me. Well, you can't just leave us with that. You need the details. I'm bipolar 1. Only 2 people in my life know it. Ah, yes. I love my injections I have to get every 3 weeks to keep me from thinking I'm chosen by God and am in direct communication with the Illuminati. Lung lover, your statement isn't exactly true because now a lot more than 2 people know. I constantly think about leaving my current life behind and just living alone somewhere remote where no one knows I exist. Odd thing is, I have a really good, happy life, and I'd never do it, but I think about it constantly. I think everybody feels this way one time or another because, a fresh start sounds so nice. What is the most useless thing people spend money on? Those bracelet scams that say they give powers. Yeah, those balance wristbands or whatever that are supposed to increase balance, but they don't. You're just wearing plastic. Expensive name brand clothing that is in fact poor quality. And celebrity skincare lines. Anything an influencer or celebrities are wearing are probably trash. It's just a status symbol. Don't use them. My aunt says she can't afford new shoes, yet she and about 8 other people at her church all pitched in to buy their pastor and his wife a 2-week trip to Italy. Tell auntie to start saving because next year the pastor will need a private jet for his many travels to save souls. It's so weird that heaven is locked behind a paywall. Amway and all MLMs. Those souvenir spoons that aren't good for anything but taking up space. I hate seeing these athletes and artists with jewelry the price of a small house. Like, what are you doing? Bottled water, where there is good water available. And bottled water is just a waste of plastic, like huge waste. Just drink from the tap. Be a man. And if you're a girl, be a man. Payday loans. No matter how much you think you need it, you don't. Don't ever use these. Gambling addiction. Well, it's not useless if they win. Funko Pops. Those are more or less useless. It's not like Beanie Babies. They're not gonna sell for higher prices. Reddit awards, LOL. If you could experience a video game for the first time again, what would it be? Absolutely Breath of the Wild. My first experience with that game, I was immersed. Like, it was crazy. Portal 1 and 2. It's just not the same once you know the puzzles. Playing Stardew Valley with my wife was beautiful. RuneScape 2007. They do still have old school RuneScape set up. You just have to look up old school RuneScape. GTA Vice City. Really hope GTA 6 will give us that same 80s Miami vibe. Here's to hoping, at least. World of Warcraft. I still feel nostalgic for walking into Ironforge for the very first time. Mass Effect series. It would be nice, but I can't deal with that mining. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. It would be really fun, but I'd just get lost again. Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 1. That first ride into Mexico. Mario 64. Boring answer, but it was such a mind blower when it came out. What's the hardest lesson you've learned as an adult? That time keeps going. Like, I'm just gonna keep getting older. And I don't like that. Bad things happen to good people without reason or explanation. Chronic illness can destroy everything you've ever worked for, and it can happen to anyone at any age. One best friend is better than multiple acquaintances. Quantity does not equal quality. To not worry about death, because you can't stop that MF from coming. No matter how much you love someone, you just can't make them love you. Just as you can't make yourself love someone no matter how hard you may want to. And life is not fair. How forgettable and unimportant you are to people. Friends that you always thought would remain close often drift apart over time, sometimes never to be heard from again. Don't take people for granted. You never know when they could be gone. You never know how much they mean to you until they're gone. Debt is a trap and a motherfucker to dig yourself out from under. Taking care of your financial health is so important. Years worth of smart decisions can be undone in a few months of negligence or mistakes and severely limit your ability to operate in the adult/family world. The most precious thing in the world is time with those you love. The only answers at the bottom of a bottle are the wrong ones. What's your first thought when thinking about Japan? I hope I get to go there one day. Tokyo. Tokyo at night, as iconic in its way as Times Square. Tokyo is more impressive than Times Square, in my honest opinion. Been to both. Yeah, Times Square, kind of boring. Their flag, actually. It is an easy one to remember. Japanese cherry trees in the spring. Same. Just gorgeous. It's on my bucket list. Ramen. I do really want to try some authentic, good ramen, not microwave anymore. Anime. Oh, we found him. We found the weeb. Nintendo. Fun fact, did you know Nintendo started out making playing cards? There were no video games to be made. Long man. One of the strangest commercials I think I've seen. Pokemon. Godzilla. I've heard a lot of good things about Shin Godzilla. I need to watch that movie soon. Sushi. Oh, don't make me me hungry right now. I saw an article with a picture of koi fish swimming through their ditches, and that's immediately what comes to mind now. What do you think of rich people? Oh, I'm feeling even more hungry now. Depends on how rich we're talking. Jeff Bezos or like an upper middle class doctor? Not much really, same as they think of me. I tend to not, but it is hard considering most of our media throws their faces into our eyes every day. Wish I were one of them. Alright, but just for the financial aspect, right? Would you still be a good person? About the same I do of any people. So you don't like them, that's what I'm getting. Are we talking above ground pool rich or in-ground pool rich? Inflatable pool rich, because it means they have a garden. The sweet smell of no debt. Not necessarily. The well-off often use debt to acquire assets. Because of their financial situation, they have access to cheap money. It's sometimes in their best financial interest to use debt. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's not choking debt hanging around their neck like regular Joe debt. It's just crazy since money is fake, yet rich people can leverage debt? Like, I don't understand how that works. Depends on it, they earned it. Rich inheritance brats versus hard workers with good business sense and a moral compass. I don't know if you're gonna find a moral compass on a lot of those people either. I was raised not to judge people by what they have. It's okay, you're allowed to judge rich people. I wish most of them didn't get rich by exploiting others. You see, the funny thing is you only get rich by exploiting other people. Not taxed enough. Nobody on earth needs billions of dollars, yet we have multiple billionaires still living. What is a ridiculous food to eat while driving? Pixie sticks. I was eating one, the car in front of me stopped short. I slammed on my brakes and inhaled all of it. It blocked my throat, so I was choking. Finally managed to let out a cough, only to completely cover my windshield with wet sugar. So then I frantically wiped my windshield with my hand so I could see. Pretty rough about 10 seconds at 5:30 a.m. on my way to work. New fear unlocked. The real question here is why a pixie stick at 5:30 a.m.? An uncut whole watermelon. Crunch. I mean, that's weird regardless of driving. Like, just a regular watermelon, no slices? Soup. Pureed soups in a coffee cup is very convenient. Savory smoothies. Drinking soup in a car is fine. Have you ever heard of a thermos? Crab legs. Or a grilled lobster, unopened. I guess if you're really good at multitasking, you can figure it out. Spaghetti. What is the spaghetti policy in this vehicle? No spaghetti, please. Especially not if it's in a plastic bag. Fondue. More like fun. Don't eat that in your car. Ribs. You see, that's why you gotta get a McRib. Only if they'll bring it back. Tacos. Love them, but they're messy, man. This is why God gave us the crunch wrap. You know, you do make a good point. Pistachios. That shit will kill you. Both hands and sight required to crack the nut open. The only exception is if you're brave enough to crack them open with your teeth like sunflower seeds, and I don't recommend it. Ramen. Amen. Men. You know what? N. A whole avocado, but you eat it like an apple. Oh god, that just sounds gross anytime. What is the best film to go into completely blind? Oh, there are so many movies. I can't pick one. The Sixth Sense would be my top contender. Alien is better if you don't know anything about that one scene. Usual Suspects. The only problem for Sixth Sense with me is I've had it spoiled so many times because it became a pop culture meme for a minute. Memento. I think I know what happens in that movie, but I still should try it. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I actually did see this completely blind, had no idea what it was gonna be, and oh my god, I was blown away. If you like Jim Carrey, definitely check it out for a serious role. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Still haven't finished that movie, I don't know why. The Prestige. Really good movie, and it's Christopher Nolan, so you know there's something going on. The Matrix. I first saw it in high school, and only one of my group had ever even heard of it, and said, I think it's an action movie or something. Best movie to go in blind. If you haven't seen the first Matrix movie, do yourself a favor and go watch it. What are you doing? Sorry to bother you. Definitely a weird movie. I went in more or less blind. I saw the initial trailer, but oh, I did not expect this movie. Parasite. I saw it after it won the Oscar, and I really made an effort to avoid reading about it before going to see it. So glad I did. If you're one of those babies who says, oh, I just can't read the subtitles, then please do yourself a favor and grow up. Cabin in the Woods. I was lucky enough to go see that not knowing what was really going on, and it was a great surprise. Shutter Island. Yeah, going in blind is pretty good. Cats. If I have to experience this movie, I'd rather be blind. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Please go watch this movie. Oh, it's so good. Oh, just watch the movie. Watch it. Gay people of Reddit. What was the moment it clicked? Yeah, I'm gay. I genuinely cannot remember what my real realization was, so I'm no use in this question. Looked at a girl and thought, if I was a guy, I'd date her, and realized I didn't need to be a guy to date her. I was not brave enough to speak to that girl though. 2018 Summer Olympics. Realized I had been watching men's water polo alone for 8 hours. I'm bi, but I realized I wasn't straight while watching the Lizzie McGuire movie when I was like 8 to 9. I was in the backseat of a long car ride watching on my portable DVD player. There's a scene near the end where Lizzie is on stage singing and the camera shot is behind her. I remember pausing the movie and staring at her butt for a good while, wondering why it made me feel a certain way. A few years later, I found my uncle's Playboy magazines and it suddenly all made sense. An episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where they showed Riker's hairy chest. I learned not only that I was gay, but a lot about my specific type of gay. This is a ridiculous and not a very wholesome story, but when I was playing GTA Vice City as a kid, I always found the main character to be very handsome despite the graphics being terrible. All right for its time though. Then I was a teen and revisited Vice City. Started looking for fan arts of the main character because I couldn't get enough of his handsomeness. Then it kind of clicked that I had a crush on a video game character since I was a kid. That was quite the feeling. Only after that did I start to explore my sexuality more. So thank you, Tommy Vercetti. When I finally accepted that I was crushing on boys in high school, took me a while to get past my denial phase. You ever have a really intense friendship with a guy when you were a teenager that suddenly ended when he got a girlfriend? There has been no click, only anxiety and confusion. I think I fall a little bit into this category because I don't know, it just happened. George of the Jungle. Well, I mean, played by Brendan Fraser? Are you joking? Of course. In 8th grade, I caught myself staring at a classmate for a noticeably uncomfortable amount of time, and I was like, why do I keep looking at her? Maybe I have a crush? Do I want to kiss her? And the answer was most definitely yes. Ellen Ripley at the end of Alien. Enough said. As a gay man, I will say I would let Ripley destroy me. I was 12. I liked Sonic. I used the internet. I realized a few things about myself at once there. I am incredibly sorry. Oh, bless your heart. You know, things get revealed to you in the weirdest places, and unfortunately for you, it was pretty weird. And on that weird note, I've gotta go. And on that weird note, I'm gonna leave now. Thank you all once again for watching. My name has been Brandon, and I will speak into your ears another years. Bye!